The days that followed passed gently at Misselthwaite Manor. Nothing seemed hurried anymore. The house remained quiet, but the quiet had changed. It was no longer heavy or watchful. It felt softer, as if the walls themselves had begun to relax. Mary noticed it most in the mornings. She woke with ease now, her thoughts clear and untroubled. The air in her room felt lighter, and the pale daylight that entered through the windows no longer seemed distant or cold. It rested warmly on the walls, lingering as if it wished to stay. Mary dressed slowly and went about her day without rush. She still visited the garden each morning, tending to the earth with patient hands. The plants were changing now. Buds had grown fuller, leaves had widened. The soil, once still and quiet, responded to her care. The garden was listening, and so was Mary. One afternoon, as she returned from the garden, Mary paused near the west wing. She had not planned to go there. Her feet simply slowed, as if they remembered the path on their own. She stood for a moment outside Colin's door. The hallway was empty. Mary knocked softly. There was silence at first. Then a voice, calmer than before, answered. "You may come in." Mary entered. The room was much the same, curtains drawn, soft shadows resting in the corners, but something was different. The air did not feel as heavy. Colin lay propped against his pillows, watching the light move faintly along the wall. "You came back," he said. "Yes," Mary replied. "I said I would." Colin considered this quietly. He was not used to promises being kept without question. "Tell me something," he said, after a moment. "What do you do when you go outside?" Mary thought carefully. "I walk," she said. "I listen. I breathe." Colin frowned slightly. "That doesn't sound very important." Mary smiled faintly. "It is." Colin did not argue. He seemed tired but not restless. His breathing was slow, almost thoughtful. "Everyone tells me I must be careful," he said, "that the world outside is too much." Mary looked at the closed curtains. "It's very quiet outside," she said, "quieter than in here." Colin was silent for a long time. "Do you think," he asked softly, "that I could ever go outside?" Mary did not answer right away. "Yes," she said at last, "but not all at once." Colin nodded. That made sense to him. The next day, Mary brought something with her when she came to Colin's room. She carried a small bundle of leaves and soil wrapped carefully in cloth. She placed it gently on the table near his bed. "What is that?" Colin asked. "From the garden," Mary said. Colin hesitated. "Is it safe?" Mary nodded. "It's quiet." Colin reached out slowly and touched the cloth. His fingers brushed against the cool earth beneath. "It smells different," he said. "It smells alive," Mary answered. Colin closed his eyes for a moment, breathing deeply. Nothing happened. And that was exactly what made it important. From that day on, Mary visited Colin each afternoon. Sometimes they spoke. Sometimes they did not. Mary would sit near the window, describing the garden in slow, careful words. She told him of the red bird, of the new shoots pushing through the soil, of the sunlight resting gently on the leaves. Colin listened. He asked questions, quiet ones. "Does it hurt the plants when you touch them?" "No." "Do they mind being alone?" "No." "Do they change slowly?" "Yes." Colin liked that. One afternoon, Mary noticed that the curtains had been opened just a little. A narrow strip of light reached across the floor. Colin followed her gaze. "I asked them to," he said. "Just a little." Mary said nothing, but her smile was warm. That evening, Mary returned to the garden and sat quietly on the stone bench. The red bird hopped nearby, watching her with bright eyes. "I think he's ready," Mary whispered. The bird tilted its head. The next morning, Mary found a small chair waiting outside Colin's door. Mrs. Medlock stood nearby, uncertain but curious. "He wanted it there," she said quietly. Mary nodded. Later that day, with careful steps and patient pauses, Colin was moved closer to the open air. He sat wrapped in blankets, his breathing slow but steady. The door to the garden was still far away, but the window was open. Fresh air drifted in. Colin closed his eyes. "It's cold," he said. "Yes," Mary replied. "But it's kind." Colin stayed there only a few minutes. That was enough. That night, the manor slept deeply. The wind moved freely through open spaces. The walls no longer felt so tight. Somewhere in the garden, leaves stirred softly beneath the moonlight. And in his room, Colin dreamed, not of sickness or fear, but of a quiet place beyond a wall, waiting patiently for him.